Phenomenal morning, phenomenal morning, phenomenal morning. I am your host, Sean Ra'is, and I am flanked, of course, by the phenomenal Bobby Jackson. This is your breakfast with the brand. This is your breakfast with the brand. So again, let's get started. Phenomenal morning, phenomenal morning, phenomenal morning. So listen, guys, I want you to have that kind of energy, right? When you guys come to anything that we do, anything the brand puts out, Sean Ra'is, Leadership Leverage, anything that we do, phenomenal morning. Be up, be energized, be ready. That's why we're doing this, Bobby. I want people to kickstart their morning the right way.
Right. 100%. 100%. I was doing my meditations this morning, and one of the meditations I did was on growth. It was a guided meditation on growth.
Okay.
And what it said was pretty interesting. It said that real growth comes in when you let go of what you think the outcome should look like. It was like sometimes we hold on to what we think it should look like, and then we create these self-fulfilling prophecies. And the meditation was saying, just let go. Growth will be ugly at times. Growth will be unpredictable at times. Growth will be all kinds of stuff. So just let go and trust the process. So this morning I'm doing absolutely phenomenal because I'm leaning back into that mindset. Just let go. Just running with it, going with it.
Very good. Very good. So we ended yesterday and we kind of told everybody that we were going to come back today with foundational fundamentals. Right? Foundational fundamentals. And one of the things that you're talking about right now is a foundational fundamental. Right. So, guys, phenomenal morning. I see you, Keishan Jordan. I know there's a lot of people on here. We are on LinkedIn. We are on YouTube. We are on X or Twitter, as you may remember. We are also on multiple platforms on Facebook. Guys, share this out to your team. Share this out to your people. I was on a call early this morning with a sales team, getting them ready, getting them primed to go hit it, running and take off. I want you to get your team primed as well. And I want you to be an influence, a massive positive influence on your team. And your team are those who are following you. Your team are those who are following you. So this morning, we're going to touch you with foundational fundamentals. And one of the things Bobby just said about trusting the process is just that. You have to trust the process. And one of the things that come to mind is very, very graphic. I'm going to give you a graphic representation of what he said. You have to trust the process because in the middle of an operation, it looked like somebody was murdered in the operating room. In the middle of an operation, in the middle of a medical operation, it looks like somebody was murdered in the operating room. So you might be in multiple different stages of your business. You might be being wheeled in on the gurney. Right, being wheeled into the operating room. It might be mid-operation. There might be all kinds of stuff on the wall, all kinds of pieces and people and all kinds of manners of anarchy taking place in your business or your personal life right now. But when you trust the process, things seem to go your way. You have to set phenomenal goals. Like, okay, so I was teaching this earlier on the sales training specifically. Your vision is the long-term goal. Your vision is the long-term goal. Your goals are the stepping stones. Your goals are the rungs on the ladder that get you there. So don't think you're going to set a phenomenal vision and accomplish it tomorrow. No, set a small goal, hit that goal. Set another goal, hit that goal. And then set another goal and hit that goal. And what you'll find is within a 2-year process, 6-year process, you'll make it to a phenomenal vision. But it won't happen overnight. It won't be easy. And hope is not a strategy.
I was just thinking about goal setting not too long ago for the life that I want to live. And I think this is fundamental. It's one of the things that you taught us very early. You said, design your ideal life and then design the ideal business around that. And I remember recently just looking at my 10-year plan. And I want to ask the audience, what does your 10-year plan look like? And when was the last time you touched it up? Maybe you haven't done that just yet. And you're you're trying to figure out, like, I've got all this experience, I've got all this expertise, I've got all of this knowledge, but I'm not really where I want to be. And it hurts a lot when you've had that knowledge for, say, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years already, because now you're forced to look back over the last 10 years and say, hey, I've had this knowledge for this long, or this experience for this long, and I'm still not where I want to be. So one thing that I learned to do was just to set the target out and then work backwards. I think that's pretty helpful sometimes, is say, okay, this is where I want to be in 10 years. I might need this degree at year 8. And then I may need these competencies by year 6. And probably be great to have this amount of money by year 5 or 4. And then by the time you get to year 1, you can pretty much build out a battle rhythm for the next 12 months and kind of keep hacking away at that thing like that.
Very good. That's actually how NASA gets to the moon. That's how NASA gets to the moon. That's how the beautiful, phenomenal space exploration, the excursions are handled. They reverse the process. They set the goal and they reverse the process. We also call it reverse engineering in business. Reverse engineering in engineering as well as business, guys. So when we come back, we're going to talk about reverse engineering your process in business, setting small goals as well as foundational fundamentals. This is The Breakfast with the Brand, and we'll be right back. Let's grow. There's slow growth, and then there's scale. There's incremental growth, and then there's exponential growth. What I want to talk to you about is adding a 0 to you and experiencing exponential scale. Incremental growth says 1 + 1 is 2. Exponential growth says 1 + 0 is 10. Incremental growth says 2 + 2 is 4. Exponential growth says 5 + 0 is 50. Guys, listen, when you add a 0 to you, you can add a 0 to the marketplace. You can add a 0 to the value that you bring. So you can add a 0 to your family, add a 0 to your legacy. This is what we're talking about. We're not talking about incremental, we're talking about exponential. I always say that business is a spiritual game. Just imagine when you combine your skills, your values, your abilities, your talents to something bigger than you, something greater than you, something like the power of exponential. That is adding a 0. Add a 0 to your competence, add a 0 to your confidence. This is about adding a 0 in your life, your value, your industry, and your mission. Let's grow. It's very important that you know yourself to the highest degree possible, because it's through knowing ourselves that we're able to know other people. You are the most important person in the room, and the better that you know yourself, the better that you're able to communicate to others. So you're not only playing the game knowing who you are, but you're also playing the game knowing who everyone else is, so that you're not playing blind.
He's extremely engaging with people. He has a fantastic smile, and he's just a very high energy person.
This is called leadership development. So we have to be independently knowledgeable and considerate to know who we are, so we can more effectively know who other people are. As the leader, it's your responsibility to allocate resources in the right places. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. All right, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about the foundational fundamentals, and let's talk about something as simple as communication. Communication. If you don't know how to communicate effectively, you're losing the battle. It is stated that 91% of communication is the words that are coming out of your mouth. I'm sorry. Nope. Okay, no, it's the what and the how. Okay, so let me correct that. Let me self-correct. The self-correcting is not just the words that you're saying, but how you state them. How you state them. The words are 9%. That's it. The actual selection of the English language, the actual selection of the words that you use are 9% of communication. However, the way that you say the words, how you say them, the pregnant pauses in between, eye contact, the energy that you put into the words that you convey, the baritone, tonality, inflection. Those are key components. How do people do phone sales? How do people close deals on the phone when you're not in the room? And there's only one way that you can do it. And that is through the inflection and the tonality, the ability to communicate. I have had people come on calls and say that they've watched me for 4 hours or they watched me for 4 days, binge watched the content, and then they turn around and they say, it felt like you were in the room. It felt like I was in the room, not because of the words that I say, because the words that I say you could read off of magazine paper and they won't have the same power. I guarantee you this, guys. Try this. Try this today. The foundational fundamentals of business, sales, and scale is communication. Why? Because you can't scale without people. You can't scale without people. Systems have to be put in your business by people. The people that you wake up with, your family, your children, your wife, your spouse, your husband, whatever the case may be, communication will either help you ascend or descend. If you want to raise, if you're on a job, this is so funny, Bobby, but I promise you this is fundamental, foundational. If you're on a job right now and you want to make more money, first off, you can't make money. Money's already made. Money's already made, so you can't make more money. If you want to earn more money, if you want to switch the polarity and you want to attract more money into your life, the only way that you can do it is by influence and persuasion. Influencing or persuading a promotion. That's a fact. And when people are negotiating before a person gets hired, it's not just the words that you say, but it's how you say them, how captivating your presence is, how you're able to attract, magnetically convert. Think, guys, ideas are things. The power of your thought and the ability to paint words and paint pictures with your words will determine whether you get a 5-figure or a 6-figure salary during the hiring process. Yes, sir. And when you know sales, listen, when you know sales, when you get to the yes. So sales is a series of yeses. Sales is a series of yeses. You want to create a culture of yes. Guys, write this down. I know we're giving a clinic right now, right? I'm gonna run a short clinic, then I'm gonna pass it to Bobby. Sales is a series of yeses. Happy marriages are a series of yeses. Agreement. Creating agreement, fostering agreement. But watch this. The best time for the upsell is after the final yes. So after the final yes, that's the best time for the upsell. When someone says, yes, let's go, we're committed. As you're closing the deal and wrapping it up, before you send the contract, you say, you know something? Would you consider X, Y, and Z? It's fresh. It's fresh. It's the best time for the upsell, guys. I guarantee you. You've had a series of yeses. You got 9 or 10 concessions. And then they say yes and agree to it. And then it's like, okay, great. Would you consider? As I'm writing this up, I'm thinking about something else. Best time for the sale. When you buy a car, they say, we could put a kit on this thing. How would you like the leather piping on the? And it's like you're already spending 70, 80, 90, 100. So you're like, yeah, why not? Throw in another 10K. What is it? Okay, 15K. No problem. Let's go. Because you're already in buying mode. Same thing with negotiating a salary and getting hired. As soon as somebody hires you, you say, okay, well, listen, this is something else that I can do. It's being of value. Stack your value. And notice the way you say what you say. A lot of people have the same skill sets, Bobby. A lot of people have the same skill sets. What's the difference between one person being successful and another one not being successful? It's not what they do. They all do the same thing. It's how they do what they do.
That was a lot. That was a lot.
Foundational fundamental.
Man, it it took me back to a conversation I was having with a prospect, and they had moved from Alaska to somewhere in the Midwest or like the East Coast somewhere. And when they got there, their goal was to sell tables, but these were unique gaming tables. And he was on the call, very interested, and had sold one table before, and I think had another table going out to this distributor. And he was like, I don't have a dime to my name right now to invest in this. I just bought a new car, just got this, just got that. I really don't have it. And it was so interesting to tell him, well, why don't you just pre-sell a table? And it was so funny because I heard this my whole career from my coach. It's like, yeah, pre-sell it. And I've pre-sold some things, but not like a ton of things. So I understand the process of pre-selling, and that's like all confidence. If you're trying to pre-sell something, it's all confidence in my opinion. So I told this to the guy, and his mind was just blown. Did you say go sell it before I make it? And I was like, how else do you think you're going to do it? So for me, because I grew up in finance, my pre-sale was going to the banks. So that's what I know how to do very, very well. I know how to go to financial institutions and sell them on ideas and get money from them. But most people like the Grant Cardones and individuals like that, they go to the market and they sell to them. So we're both pre-selling because we're getting financial capital for something that's yet to be created. And I say all of that to say, one of the fundamentals, like principal fundamentals of business, I think for many entrepreneurs today, is the ability to brand, market, and close, because that's like a pre-sale formula. Like if you got all three of those things, you can pre-sell stuff. But if you don't have a brand, it's hard to attract people to you. And if you don't know how to market, it's hard to get the thing out there that you're trying to pre-sell. Like nobody knows what you're selling. And if you can't close, if someone does interact with you, you don't know how to seal the deal, because closing is elegant. It's luxurious. It's a feeling like Coach taught it to me this way. He says, when you do it right, they'll close themselves. They'll come to you already closed. So you don't really have to close them. You just have to facilitate the environment for them to do what they already want to do. And I think that that's fundamental, to being able to do good business. And my last point would be, a lot of people in the marketplace today, from business owners at least, entrepreneurs, are struggling to get enough money to make the next investment. Like they have their day job and they're bringing money in from their day job, but they're at a place in their business and they could be doing, say, 4 figures, 5 figures, or 6 figures already, but they know that the next investment, they just don't have it. Like once they take the revenue and they account for that, and then they account for all the money that's coming in from their side job, they find that there's just not enough money there to make the next investment. And I have found that pre-sales, or just sales in general, that's the way to go. Like if you can establish your brand, which you can with the right information, and if you do the work, you can establish your brand, establish your marketing position, and then go out there and close deals. Like that's how you get it done, in my personal and professional opinion.
Very good. Sometimes Bobby or one of my clients will say something that I said, and I'll have to check myself and say, did I say that? Because I listened to the wisdom and I'm like, wow, that was good. Right? That was good. That's good. Like, listen, guys, it's called MVP. Minimum viable product. Minimum viable product. And I learned this from Jack Welch in the Management Institute at Strayer. So they have the Institute of, how is this? Let me give me a moment. Jack Welch Management Institute at Strayer. So I was taking an MBA. an MBA under the CEO of the century, Jack Welch. And they were teaching minimum viable product. And I thought to myself, I said, the minimum viable product, the most minimal viable product that there is an idea. The most minimal viable product that there is an idea. So, okay. Everybody here has an idea. Everybody on this call has an idea. Matter of fact, you've probably got too many ideas because you're not moving enough on one of them. So you get multiple ideas. But you need what's critical to the execution piece is just that, the execution, action. So once you get an idea, you have to take action on the idea. This is what we did with Branded Like a Leader. We pre-sold multiple six figures. We didn't just go sell something because we didn't have anything to sell except the idea. And this is what let me know that Branded Like a Leader was the product that people wanted because I tested it in the marketplace. And I'm going to take you back to the beginning. Watch this. I'm going to take you back to the very origin of what we started talking about, critical communication. If you can't sell something without showing something, then you don't have anything.
Ooh. Okay.
If you can't sell something without showing something, then you don't have anything worth buying. The reason that you know, okay, so watch this. I'm going to tell you about the science of pre-sales right now. Bobby, I went to the movies. And saw the most phenomenal movie. And the movie was, let's just pull any movie out of the air. I don't know, New York, Hollywood. Phenomenal movie. Everybody's in it. You need to see it. The family needs to see it. Make sure you go. Be there early because it's going to be filled. So you want to get the right seats. You want to be there on time. You want to get the right everything. Make sure it's perfect. Have somebody watch the kids, though. It's not for the kids.
Right.
Now, you see how I say that? Now, Bobby, are you going to go see the movie?
Most likely. I got to see it.
The way I pre-sell it, it's sold. The problem is this, guys. You don't have three things. Three things you don't have in your pre-selling, in your minimum viable product. And Bobby used a word that was like the underlaying girder of it all. Confidence. You can't sell something if you're not, number one, enthusiastic about what it is. Number two, an authority figure. That's positioning. And number three, you have to be sharp. You gotta be sharp. He has to respect my opinion for it to make sense. And the reason that he would respect my position, again, is a critical component of positioning. The way I adorn myself, the way I articulate myself, physically, mentally, emotionally, economically. It's all communications, guys. It's all communication. So what I'm saying to you, if you're watching this morning, is that you have everything that you need. You have everything that you need to make $1 million. And the reason that you don't make $1 million is because you're stuck in your head about what should I do, as opposed to what should I think and what should I say. If you think the right thing, you'll do the right thing, and the right thing will bring the right results. But you're not. Listen, we all go live. Right? We all talk. Everybody talks. Everybody with a phone goes live on Facebook. What's the difference between the person who makes $1 million and the person who gets crickets? What's the difference between the crickets and digits? Let's talk about it. It's not what they say, because everybody's basically saying the same thing. Everybody's ripping each other off. Like, everybody's saying the same thing. If you go through 5 different lives or 5 different, everybody's going to tell you the same thing. You need to build a personal brand. Leadership is the key to winning. Confidence and profit. You're going to hear the same thing. The difference is the way that it's stated, the confidence behind it, the package behind it, the content. When you Google someone like myself, you go and see, I didn't just start. Do you understand? It's the things that, oh my God, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. And then it's what you're not saying. It's the energy around the entire thing that captivates someone and creates. And this is what everybody's looking for, Bobby.
Yeah.
It creates the close.
Mm-hmm.
It creates the close, and it allows you to add a 0 to your number.
Yeah.
I swear to you, this is the key. This is the key, the confidence and the aura, the environment, the energy, how you say what you say, how you articulate your positioning in the marketplace
Mm-hmm.
is the difference. But I showed it. I played it during, I think it was consulting. Like, nope, it wasn't consulting. I do this on the brand challenge. So on the brand challenge, I'll show an Audi 8 and a Lamborghini Urus. So on one side of the screen, you got the Audi 8. On the other one, you got the Lamborghini Urus. Note for note, horsepower for horsepower, horsepower for horsepower. They're the exact same car. One just costs $100,000 more. As a matter of fact, if you get inside of them, they're both basically the same car. They talk about this too. Google it when this is over. Google it, guys, on your own time. Research what I'm saying. Don't take what I say for face value. That's one thing I don't want you to do. I say this all the time. Don't believe what I say. Throw it against the wall and see if it sticks. Come back and tell me I lied to you. And that's never happened. But if you experiment with what I'm saying and you execute with what I'm saying, you're going to turn around and have the same results that Bobby did and do 400% revenue increase over and over and over again. So the Audi Q8 and the Lamborghini Urus, same car on the inside, same car under the hood, same car in the functionality. $100,000 difference on the price tag.
Man, you know what that brings to mind was you've taught us so much too. You've taught us so much. I'm trying to give a good entry point because we're talking fundamentals. And one of the fundamentals of marketing is repelling your unideal client.
Come on.
Repelling the unideal client. And that's like base fundamental. But I found that that is one of the most difficult things for business owners to do, no matter what stage they're in. And I've worked with business owners that own $1 million organizations, like biotech companies. I've worked with entrepreneurs that own hotels and your 6-figure entrepreneurs. As a CFO, I've seen a wide range of businesses. And one thing that all of them have had in common is what's the best word? They do not, okay, I can use it this way. You taught it. So Sean taught it to me this way. He said, teach people how to treat you when they meet you by how you treat yourself.
Yes,
so
sir.
Like we're going to the bare bone fundamentals of marketing. Like when you are putting yourself out there and when you are communicating to your ideal client, how you treat you is how they're going to treat you. And when we talk about what you don't say, when we talk about the ambiance, like I remember a few calls ago, coach was like, I had to pull Bobby in. His face was starting to round out a bit. I had to say, hey, what you doing? You eating all right over there? You working out? Like what I had done was I was stressed. Like I was grinding. I stopped working out as much. I was killing the numbers, but I was letting other areas slip. And like any good coach that is paying attention to his clients, he says, hey, all the money in the world don't mean nothing if you got to give it back. So then I had to start getting right. Boom, started slimming down. The reason I share this, guys, is because I attracted a certain client, or at least I gave off a certain energy when I looked like I wasn't grinding, when I looked like I was grinding, but maybe I wasn't taking care of myself. So maybe I would attract a client that maybe had the money today, but wouldn't have it tomorrow. And if you're in business, like it's the details, guys. God is in the details and the devil is too. So you really got to pay attention. So I think for me, one of the biggest things that I want everybody that's listening to this right now to just, just think about is, how are you showing up for yourself? Because that's marketing, in my opinion, 101. Like your ideal client, guys, like, oh my gosh, there's so much here, because a lot of us are looking for our ideal team. And I don't want to go too far off base, but we're talking fundamentals, like the scaling process. So you need your ideal clients to be able to pay you. And sometimes your ideal clients might turn into ideal team members. And then your ideal team members may become, ideal partners. And all of these things come from the process of doing the 101 of marketing, which is treating yourself the way you want other people to treat you and understanding the importance thereof. So there was so much there, but that was one of the things that I just wanted to lean into, because I know with Thanksgiving passing, a lot of us ate more than we should have ate. I know with Christmas coming up and the eggnog season and New Year's coming up and the ball dropping, a lot of us are going to do things that we know
need to calm down,
are not consistent with who we are and who we need to be. That's that piece.
Very good. So I think what Bobby's saying is, do what you need to do now. Do what you need to do now. Don't wait for the time to come. When you become aware of the time that you need to do something, it's way too late. The opportunity has passed. I promise you. Prepare before you need the situation to change. Like, do it now. The fundamentals, guys. When people get away from the fundamentals and get hit, the fundamentals are too far gone for them to recall what they did. Recall how you got here. Anyone who has been in business knows this is true. When you fail in business, when you go up so far and you break because your talent takes you somewhere that your character can't sustain you, and then you got to come back and do the fundamentals, it's a longer way up the second time because you fall so low. Make sure that you have your fundamentals intact, and it's going to be an easy climb, guys. Super easy climb, super easy climb. And really scale. Man, I'm gonna make this last point before we go to the break. Scale is simplifying your process. It's not adding to it. It's not adding to it. It's taking things away. It's literally subtracting things. You think that scale would be adding this and adding this and adding this and adding this. In reality, scale is removing this, removing this, removing this, and removing this, and getting down to the raw essentials of what works and doing that over and over and over and over. It's fundamentally foundational. It's, as an entrepreneur, sometimes entrepreneurs have ADHD. They create their own problems, right? We create our own problems. Like, we need an explosion. We need something to respond to. We need some kind of fire to put out a fire. But realistically, business ownership is not putting out fires. Business ownership is freedom and abundance of creating a system that operates on autopilot, so you can actually enjoy quality rest and quality time with your loved ones. That's what business ownership is. It isn't a feast and famine situation of, I got to get clients, we need more money. I got to get clients, we need more money. And then you succeed. And then it's like, okay, we have abundance now. Now I can take my foot off the gas. And then in a month from now, it's the same faster famine situation. That's not business ownership. If that's happening, you're doing it wrong. If that happens, if that's what you're experiencing in business ownership, then I feel sorry for you, because somebody taught you the wrong way. You don't have the right system. The right system of business ownership is adding more value than you get paid for, doing things the right way so that you have more abundance. With more abundance, looks like more money at the end of the month instead of more month at the end of the money, and having peace. Having peace, like peace is the new success, guys. I think I'm gonna go to a break on that. Peace is the new success.
I said Sean Ride East. I'm proud. Sean Ride East.
Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire, heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line what I could sell. Why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Sean, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes. The difference between sales and closing, I get this all of the time, guys. Closing is elegant. Closing is luxurious. Closing is the most profitable. Sales, high pressure tactics. No one associates car sales, right? The sleazy sales tactics with closing, because closing is elegant. Closing is excellent. You have to be a professional in order to close deals. Listen, when you do this the right way, when you learn what we're going to teach you in here, your clients will be trying to close you. And they won't let you close them for low numbers. So you'll be able to heighten, increase your profitability, increase your visibility, increase your reach, and increase your impact in the marketplace. And be confident and comfortable charging higher prices than you ever thought possible to the right people who can actually pay for them and then say thank you for closing them. How would you like that? How would you like to be in a, so watch this. It's super easy to open the box. When it comes to closing the deal, everybody can open the box. Everybody can open the sale, but not everybody can close the sale. The way you close the sale is sticking to the fundamentals, sticking to those foundational principles of adding value, adding value, adding value. A lot of times people turn around and say, Sean, how do you charge? Like, I don't understand the prices, because I've been over here, I've worked with this one, I've been over here, and the pricing is just like out of this world. And I say the price correlates the value. As a matter of fact, let me say this: the use value that you find from what we provide is invaluable. You can't pay for it. You'll never be finished paying for it. The transformational value that you get from the transactional value is uncorrelatable. It can never be measured, ever. Because if you utilize 2, 3, 4 things that you're taught inside of a program, like branded like a leader, closing like a leader, speaking like a leader, can make you multiple millions of dollars for the rest of your life. And you can teach it to your children and your team. So the way those numbers matriculate and the way you're able to add zeros to your quality of life, your quantity of life, the quality and quantity of your business, there's no number that you can put on that. So the number is a choice. The number is a choice. And what I want you to think about as you move forward today, because if you're in business, so just to be clear, like, this show is not for feeling good motivation. This show is to give you evidence-based principles that you can use today to go make money and make change and make impact in your life and the lives of others. This is primarily a show for CEOs, PBOs, and key executives.
chief executive officers, business owners, professional business owners, and key executives who are of value and want to translate their value in the marketplace, hopefully for a valuable return. That's what this is for. And this is a guarantee. If you exceed the transactional value or the cash value with transformational value or use value, you will not be able to set your prices high enough, nor will you ever have to accept a low price, and you will live a life beyond your imagination right now and your comprehension. That is not a claim. That is not audacious. That is a guarantee.
Man, that takes me back to several books. I'm not going to go into those books right now, but several books that, Brandon Like a Leader was transformative. We got so many great books during that course. We got Psycho-Cybernetics. We got so many great books during that course. But one thing that I wanted to lean into about just exceeding expectations is pain. So I put this thing on my wall, and I go to the gym every day, and I try to break myself in the gym. And one of the things that I've written down for pain is that pain precedes discovery. And that's what I try to do every day. I try to go to the gym and push myself to my pain points. And then once I get to where I'm in excruciating pain, then I say to myself, we about to find out what you really got in there. What's in there? Show me something. And then I'll go that extra second, or I'll go that extra 5 seconds, or I'll get that extra 2-3 reps out. And I'll look at myself in the mirror, and anybody that's worked out at that point, when the body is just in pain and you stop and you put the weight down, it's all of the sensors in your body are hurting all at once, but then they stop, it seizes. So I don't know if that's the endorphin shooting to the brain or whatever is going on, but it's when it subsides, you just feel so strong, so beastly. So I just did that, And I feel like a lot of us in business aren't able to charge the prices we want to charge because we don't go through the pain of discovering our true value,
Very good.
And for me, I'm going through it right now. So I hate tedious work. Things that it gives me chills just thinking about it. I wasn't like Shaw. Shaw got A's in all of his courses in college. I had to retake courses in college because I just hated certain things. One of the things that I hated was accounting. I hated accounting because of the tedious nature of it. It required you to balance the accounting equation, to go through the little nitty gritties of this. And I want you to pay attention more to what I'm saying and not so much to the story, because everybody has a accounting course in their life. The accounting course in your life right now is the one thing you don't want to do. It's the one thing that you hate doing. It's the thing you've tried and failed at over and over again. And when the pain sets in, your mind has been trained to say, we'll come back to this one. I literally get tired when I do certain things, and I can catch myself. I'm like, my mind, you can't do me like this right now. Brain, you can't do me like this. And right now, a lot of you, if you're anything like me, and your brain is anything like mine, our brains are designed to keep us safe, to keep us from feeling pain, to keep us from hurting. But if you're trying to build a business and you're trying to charge high prices and you're trying to discover the value within yourself that is priceless, you got to go through the pain. And I just wanted to share that piece with everybody because I'm currently doing something that I could have done 3 years ago. I could have done it. I'm right now going through the painstaking process of doing something that really isn't that hard. The only problem is it hurts. And at the end of the day, I'm about to discover something. That's it. I'm about to discover something new. I'm about to uncover a new skill set. And I just have to go through the tedium. So that's what I received from just that last piece of why we do the show, the fundamentals. I think a crucial fundamental is pain precedes discovery. And a lot of us need to discover some things about ourselves so we can charge the prices that we want to charge.
Very good. Very good, guys. Again, use value. Use value over cash value. So people come to me all the time, right? I work with all kinds of clients in all kinds of different industries. Industry notwithstanding, let me just say that. This doesn't only work for you if you're a speaker. This doesn't only work for you if you want to coach. This doesn't only work for you if you want to become a consultant. This works for anyone, anywhere, in anything. If your use value is over your cash value, then you can't charge a price high enough. The only thing is you need to raise the bars correlationally. Understand this, you must raise the bars correlationally. So if this is your use value and this is your cash value, you can't raise the price over your use value because that means the price exceeds the value. The price cannot exceed the value must exceed the price. But as long as you raise the price and you correlationally raise the use value, you charge whatever number you want to. And this is why people come to me and say, Sean, I got a $5,000 product. And I say, okay, let's get under the hood of that thing and let's see what we can add to it to add a zero to the back of the number. People come to me with a $500 product. The only reason, Bobby, why I don't say with a $500 product, let's turn it into $50,000 because they're not ready for that. They'll break. Just the idea of it will make them run away. So I say, okay, you got a $500 product. Let's see how we can raise the value, put some more things in there to make it more value, add some more services, add some more value to it so we can put a zero on the back of it and turn your $500 product into a $5,000 product. And if that doesn't scare you away, then in about 6 months after you see that it's successful, I'm going to say, okay, let's revisit this $5,000 package and let's put some more value in it. And let's add some more services to it. And let's make it more abundant. Let's raise the use value so then we can raise the price value from 5,000 to 50. I hope you guys are learning something. I hope you guys are learning something because, again, it's not what you do, it's why. And it's not as much why as how. It's not what you do, it's why, and it's not as much why as it is how. So you know what we do. Branding, leadership, speaking, coaching, consulting, you know what we do. The reason why we do it is to impact lives and help you make your yearly income monthly, your monthly income weekly, and your weekly income daily. Because no matter how good of a person you are, if you're broke, you can't impact change. You've got limited scope of influence if you can't feed yourself. Or you got to run back and forth to a job and your time is tied up in necessities and the first rung of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you can't think past food, clothing, and shelter, then that's a bad use of your brain. That's a bad use of your potential. So that's the why. And then the how. Watch how we do it. I tell people all the time this. I say, don't look at what we do, look at how we do it. Don't just hear what I say. Look at what I do in the marketplace. So the how is adding value to you freely. I add value freely, consistently. Days, weeks, months, years. Google me. Google any of the influencers that you follow, anyone impactful in your life. Google them and look at the years and years of quality, value, information, education, and entertainment that they provide completely free of charge. And then ask yourself, I wonder how they made 6 figures. I wonder how they made 7 figures. I wonder how they made 8 figures. And what you'll find is they started somewhere with an idea. That's it. I started my business in the basement of a job that I hated with this very phone, a BlackBerry. If you have an Android or you have an iPhone, you have more than what I started my business with right now. There's absolutely nothing holding you back except this right here, the repetitive and meticulous attention to detail, as well as foundations and fundamentals. That's it. Let me say this one last thing before you think that it's the foundation and the fundamentals or anything or everything. They're not. You have to be consistent, for God's sakes. You must be consistent. None of us would be here if we were not consistent. If we weren't consistent during that 9-month gestation process, when we went from fluid into form, then we would not be on this planet. So you materialize, you born yourself, you continue to turn and turn and turn to become. What happens, Bobby, is that we know what we need to do, but it's this part. It's the repetitive and meticulous attention to detail that people can't do. They don't have the discipline. That ugly word that decides whether someone is a success or a failure is discipline. The discipline to be consistent, because everybody knows how to lose weight. And everybody knows how to earn money, and everybody knows how to go live. The problem is you start and you stop, and you start and you stop, and you start and you stop. And you don't have the discipline to be consistent. Have the discipline to be consistent and watch how your life changes. This is The Breakfast with the Brand. I am your host, Sean Raiz. It is a pleasure to be here with Mr. Bobby Jackson. And we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Let's grow. I don't talk theory. I don't talk hyperbole. I don't talk opinion. Nothing I talk is anything but evidence-based.
During the G-Circle retreat in Atlanta, I had the pleasure and the honor of listening to Mr. Sean Raiz. He will not only impact your organization, but he will elevate your team to another level.
When you change you, when you put you into the equation, the whole system is different. I guarantee you, you got the right thing. You are the right person. If you can present yourself in the best way possible, there's no negotiation.
His energy is infectious, and I have so many takeaways from the presentation that I can't wait to get started and implement them today to see the results.